So behind me you can see Brantley Lake State Park. And this is south of Roswell, yes, of UFO fame. And it's a nice little campground. The lake is huge. Usually I can't really give you a good picture of that right now. And the dam must be 3 miles long. And it dams up the Pecos, which we were on in Villanueva. So below the dam, the Pecos is barely a creek. But it's turned out to be a nice campground. We like it. There's about 5 other Airstreams here too, and they're very friendly. Got to meet a couple of them. It's been fun. Gotten some advice about campgrounds and stuff. I wanted to share, and I probably have with friends, why we decided to do this. And it's funny because when people hear we're full time, nobody asks us why, and nobody's asked us how'd you make that decision. We had a training trailer. We had a vintage Gulfstream, little 17-footer, and we bought it the day Colorado shut down because of the pandemic in 2020, March 17th, St. Patrick's Day. And my credit guy was sitting on the phone going, "Can we get this done by 3? Because they're telling us we have to go home." I was like, oh my God. So, we knew this thing was starting to pick up speed, just barely. We'd been in Denver 2 weeks before and went, oh, crap, but we didn't get it. Now, we were camping snobs. We camped tent, thin pads, the whole thing for decades. And we'd look at people with trailers and go, what do you need all that stuff for? Why don't they just stay home? So, so when I woke up one morning and said, hey, let's go look at trailers, Paul's like, what? I said, let's just go look. We went to a show in Denver. That's why we were up there around his birthday. And we didn't even look at the Airstreams. We're like, tin cans. We're such snobs, right? So we looked at lands, and then no, didn't want that. And then we saw this little vintage. You look them up. They look like little 50s things. Had a little diner style in them, and the bathroom was tall enough for Paul to get in. So we spent that first summer traveling in it, doing some camping, and then again the next summer. Well, about a year ago, almost to the day, I had told my daughters that I was going to retire, and we wanted to sell the house and then go get some land and build a dome. I've wanted a geodesic dome since I was a teenager, and I know a man who was friends with Buckminster Fuller's son and knows how to make them cut to fit like fine furniture, and I've looked at it twice now. Life dragged me around by the tender parts. Maybe that's what I should name this, dragging around by the tender parts. And but then the prices started to go up on land. But we told our daughters this. Well, Kendra, mine and Paul's daughter, she's 6 foot. She's a goddess. She's beautiful. And you wanted to salute her when she was 2. It was like she was that commanding and authoritative. She has a very charismatic presence. And she came to us and said, my sister and I have been discussing your plans for retirement, and we don't think building a dome is a good idea because your bodies aren't what they used to be, and you'll fail and end up in an apartment miserable the rest of your lives. And I'm like, Paul was incensed. What do you mean my body isn't what? I'm like, oh, they love us. They're thinking about this. I mean, I appreciate that. And I said, well, I appreciate you thinking about this because it does affect you. What do you think we should do? And Kendra says, travel. We're like, oh, we don't got the money to travel. And we're thinking travel, Singapore, Ireland, Germany. No, we're not going to have that kind of money. So what made us decide to do the Airstream thing, like I said, with some blogs, for one, and 2, because we'd already done it a little bit in our little Poppy. And the reason why we did it is because when I started adding up the numbers about keeping the house, and we still had debt, I would have to work till I was 80. And so would he, to pay off the debt and stay in the house. That's just not, no. People are working themselves to death for debt. And Paul was out of work for a couple of years, another story. And I was grateful he was out because of the pandemic. And I needed that support, and he gave it to me from DOC, but the numbers didn't add up. And the more we looked at what my retirement would be and our Social Security, we couldn't do it. Not if we wanted to live, because my job was so stressful. Every year I could see my body 3 steps forward, 5 back, 3 steps forward, 5 back. And then during the pandemic, I managed to deal with some of the stress, but by riding a little Faraday electric bike to work, it was awesome. But the third summer I couldn't do it. The construction site was right in front of my path, and there's no way to get from downtown Canyon all the way to the East Canyon without risking your life on the highway. So this was a really, to some, an impulsive plan. From conception, from the first thing I sold was my Magic the Gathering collection. We're talking tens of thousands of cards and full. I sold it, and then from that point till the time we moved out of the house on our 25th anniversary on May 31st, silver, by the way, silver Airstream, it works. 5 months, 6 by the time I retired. So we wouldn't have done it if it weren't for the internet. Truly, how did anybody do this without Google Maps and blogs and websites and road warnings? And the other thing is that we both have a lot of mad skills. We could have built a home, but we're also, this is physically has its challenges, and one of them is cleaning. I didn't think I could keep the place clean. I mean, after all, camping is intrinsically dirty, but I've been able to. It fits my OCD. I clean, it's done. I don't find more dirt, it's done. There's not the upstairs I have to do and another bathroom, and oh crap, I gotta go clean the basement, or I gotta, you don't have to search everywhere for things that you need, like, honey, where did you leave that? And you gotta go all the way out of the garage and upstairs and all the way back down. Oh wait, it's not there, it's back upstairs. And it's not like it was a big house, it's just, I had so much stuff. I was surprised how quickly we got rid of our things, because we got rid of our things. We didn't faunch or fume. I miss stuff. I think about things a lot. Some of it's in my daughter's house. Some of it goes to friends, people I met, and I think about them. And I think about how my mother lost her huge house, and I still think of the things in the beautiful house she had. And everything's recycled. Everything gets used up, sent somewhere else, sits in a museum if you're lucky, goes to family, relatives, friends. Some of us are forced into it, hurricanes, tornadoes, floods. But we made this choice to go ahead and do this. Some of the things in our relationship, one of the things was we wouldn't walk off without telling the other where we're going. I don't even go pee without telling him, hey honey, I'm going to go pee. Because you need to know where the other person is. You can't just go wandering around. So Paul, maybe it's a man thing, I don't know. He sometimes still acts like he's a bachelor, and he wanders off and he doesn't tell me. And I'm like, honey, Paul, oh Paul, damn it, Paul. And he's wandered off someplace and he didn't tell me. Sometimes he'll go off for a hike, and I give him a time frame. He doesn't wear a watch. He won't keep track. I tell him, you need to do this, you need to come back here by this time. And I said, because if you don't, I might or might not call rescue. Yeah, I don't want to be the one to say to somebody, oh, he was an experienced hiker. He's done like 31 14ers. He knows what he's doing. Famous last words. So we're still working on that. Still working on the trust, still working on, after 26 years, trust, communication. I don't think it ever ends. It just doesn't end. And getting him to express himself instead of rolling his eyes. And when I say, well, what'd you roll your eyes for? I didn't do that. What do you mean? And then acts all like nothing's wrong. Don't gaslight me. Just tell me if it's bitch. Why don't you? I'm cool with that. But this sort of not wanting conflict. So we like it here. It's kind of cool. We're going to go to Carlsbad Saturday. Maybe I'll do a video from there. I'm enjoying doing these things, little video journal stuff. It's like talking to my daughters or any of you guys, just being me. But Love you. And anybody else that doesn't know me, love you too. Peace. Blessed be.